Hello everybody, welcome. I'm Skip Elsheimer of the AV Geeks Educational Film Archive, and welcome to our streaming show. This is something that we started doing back in mid-March, every day, around lunchtime. We're doing it a little bit earlier to try to accommodate the time zone shifts of people attending the AMIA conference, virtual conference, because many of those people are all around the world. AMIA, in case you don't know, is the Association of Moving Image Archivists, and I've been attending the conferences for quite a while, since Minneapolis, and I don't know when that was, but it was more than 10 years ago, easily. There's a conference going on right now. If you want to know more about AMIA, if you like old film and video, you like to know about the preservation of old film and video, and see a lot of old film and video, I would say go to amianet.org. There's another AMIA, which is also having a conference right around this time, and that is for medical informatics. So if you see a bunch of things about medical information, you're not at the right page, so don't go there. Or maybe go there if that's what you're into. I think their conference is a lot more expensive than our conference. But anyways, so I was bummed out by the pandemic because I was doing live screenings and showing films from our collection of over 30,000 16mm films. And so what I thought is, like, why don't I every day just pull films from our collection and then show them to folks. And what has happened is phenomenal. I've had roughly between 50 and 60 people a day that attend. The shows are about an hour. It's a mixed bag. I do themed shows where I pull films that are comparable in what their subject matter is. But this time I've been really just pulling from our collection, and even watching films that I haven't seen before, kind of premiering them, and have been broadcasting it to Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. Twitch is normally a video game kind of platform, but I thought, hey, what the heck? Let me just put it out there. It's free. Let's see what happens. And I've actually gotten some people following me and some people contacting me from there. So this has been a wonderful way to get new eyeballs on these films. And so what I'm showing today is going to be stuff that's themed kind of about moving images. And this first film is from the 70s, and it has an annoyingly catchy song. So I'm just going to go ahead and apologize for the song that's going to be stuck in your head the rest of the day. I'm actually transferring it live via a telecine. This is an MWA Nova Flash Transfer 16. This is an older machine that I bought new, and basically I learned about the machine, saw it, and got to play with it at AMIA. So there you go. AMIA is a great place to meet people and to learn about new things and to learn about old things. Really have many valuable friends and peers thanks to AMIA. So I can't cheerlead enough for them. Anyways, let's go ahead and get started. This first film is a career in television and radio for you. Enjoy.
3 million young men and women will graduate from high schools all over the country this year. A great number of young people will be looking for jobs right after graduation. Many others will be going on for specialized training or further education. But sooner or later, all will have to find a place in the world of work. Will it be their proper place? Will it be the kind of work that suits them best? Will they be prepared for it? Well, in many cases. If you are not yet thinking about what you will want to do, are not finding out about the different career areas people work in, it's time you get started. You can't begin too soon. This film will tell you about one career area, highly competitive, but needing talented and able young people. Before it's over, you should be able to decide for yourself, is a career in radio or television for you? If you like the smell of grease paint, enjoy being in the spotlight, or merely focusing one, if you get a bang out of helping construct the stage set, or helping line up props, or designing costumes for the school play, if you like to gather news for the school paper, write stories for your friends to read, if you're intrigued with the array of electronic equipment to put a radio or TV show together, and to transmit it through the air.
State area. Mostly sunny and slightly milder today. Highs ranging from...
If you like to work around celebrities, disc jockeys, or radio or TV personalities. If you can sing, dance, or like to tell jokes, or entertain at parties. If playing music is what you really want to do the rest of your life, or making tapes really grabs you, then this film may be of interest to you. The same is true if you love dramatics, making speeches, being on the debating team, or are involved in any one of the stage crafts. A career in radio or television may be for you. The same goes if you get a zing out of leading an orchestra, singing in a choir, arranging a trip, controlling expenses for a team or social club. You may be interested in some phase of radio and television broadcasting. If you've built your own radio, or enjoy staying up all night talking to fellow radio hams, a career in radio or TV may be a natural for you to consider. Same is true if you're a shutterbug, can't resist composing pictures with your 8mm camera, or like to help operate the audio-visual equipment at school. You may be a prospect for any one of a number of careers in radio and television. Entertaining, educating, informing, careers in announcing, news writing, advertising, musical careers, backing popular singers, creating the background music for TV and radio shows, selecting the records DJs will play on the air, careers in programming, arranging and developing the programs you see each season on your local stations, career occupations ranging from station engineers to performers, actors, dancers, singers, careers behind the scenes as a producer, a director, in management. Careers in commercial radio and television, educational TV and radio, pay TV, public broadcasting. information and educational programs, videotape and recording studios. Meaningful careers in the electronic media. No other area of the world of work so directly influences the lives of so many people. Most jobs in the field fall into one of these 4 categories. Let's start with engineering. Differing from engineers in other industries, the engineer in radio and TV is usually a technician and not necessarily a person with a college degree. The size of engineering staffs varies with the size of the stations and the number of shows they originate. There are cameramen, broadcast engineers, video operators, recording engineers, technical directors, lighting directors, maintenance engineers, transmitter operators, videotape engineers, projectionists, and chief engineers. Most engineering and allied jobs require at least a high school education and technical training in electronics. Anyone who operates or adjusts a broadcast transmitter must have a federal license. Membership in a union is often required. The work hours vary with the policy of the station, the hours the station is on the air, and the requirements of production. Most young people interested in engineering start at small commercial stations or educational stations. Promotion is by seniority and experience, or by applying for a better job at a bigger radio or TV station. As for sales careers in radio and TV, all stations need people to sell time, since that's the primary source of the station's revenue. The product being sold is spot time. Time needed by a customer to broadcast or telecast a commercial on the programs he wishes to sponsor. Salesmen usually deal with media people and account executives of advertising agencies or the sponsor directly. Most work on a base salary arrangement plus commissions. As for business careers in broadcasting and television, bookkeepers, accountants, and clerks are needed to collect the fees, keep track of royalties and music rights, as well as keep records for the Federal Communications Commission. Management personnel are needed to quarterback the operation of the station, set policy, hire people, to compute and pay the salaries. Management personnel usually have extensive experience in broadcasting, business, and management. Most have at least a college degree. Clerical jobs require a high school education or the equivalent in experience. Good working skills are essential. The programming area of the industry at first look seems glamorous and most intriguing, but that's not always so. For every guy you see taking a bow or speaking in golden tones over a microphone, many more people are sweating behind the scenes to make the star, the product, and the program look good. Writers produce the scripts, the jokes,
I shall... Who goes down?
The Kaiser.
Oh, jolly joker.
the songs. Prepare the news. Write the programs you find all over the dial.
Beef
Cooking shows,
recently hit the highest.
weather shows,
Below 20 to 25.
educational programs,
For both faculty and students.
Surgery
medical
is the
programs.
usual treatment, though combined irradiation.
The stage sets are created by designers, scenic artists, carpenters, painters. Stagehands are needed, and prop men. Makeup artists apply their magic. Hairstylists, too. Floor managers instruct the cast and crew by hand signals. Production coordinators and assistants look after the 1,001 details. Directors and producers mastermind the production. Announcing is one of the more popular and numerous jobs in the industry. If your voice, pronunciation, and English usage are good, there may be a spot for you in radio as an announcer. If your aim is a TV announcer, your personal appearance will be important. A pleasing personality and capacity for showmanship will help. Most announcers have at least high school and some specialized training. Most break in on radio, working on small stations for little pay until they develop a style. Most advance by moving up to bigger stations. The goal of most is to have their own show or network assignments. The hours are long, often irregular, and on holidays. Where do people in radio and TV work? Everywhere. There are over 6,500 commercial radio stations in the United States alone, some 850 commercial TV stations. Many in the field are employed by independent production firms, packaging programs or supplying production services. Others work for public broadcasting stations, foundations, religious and public service organizations. Still others work in advertising agencies preparing programs and commercials. Employment in radio and television is expected to increase moderately in the years ahead. Women hold 25% of the jobs now, mostly in programming and office occupations. 1 of 7 jobs in the industry is clerical. 1 of 20 is in sales. Half are professional and technical jobs. 1/4 are managerial. You may like one or more career areas in radio or television. However, before you make a decision, check out the many other career areas in the world of work. You'll want to see the other titles in the library of career counseling films, and talk to your teachers, your school guidance counselor, your parents. Dig into occupational information available in your library. Find out as much as you can about careers for yourself. Then, from all the careers you like and find you're suited for, choose the career for you. Let your guidance counselor help you, advise you on your prospects, suggest further education or training you will need. Advisors in the local office of your state employment service will give you the local as well as the broad picture of the occupation you want to enter, job opportunities, job requirements, wages and conditions, and what lies ahead. Plan ahead. Know what your place, your proper place, is going to be in the world of work, and prepare for it. One's work is one's life. Start making a good life for yourself now.
What you gonna do when the time comes and you have to earn your way? What you gonna do when the time comes and you have to earn your pay? What will you do when you're finally on your own? What will you do?
What will you really do?
When you're finally on your own, what will you do?
Thank you, Department of Defense, for distributing that film. Yeah, so this was part of a whole series of Is a Career In For You, made by Counselor Films, which I feel like was based in the kind of DC metro area. They shot other films. The person who made this film, Gene Starbecker, also made some amazing bus safety films, including And Then It Happened and Death Zones. Anyways, I wanted to show that because that's a wonderful... All those people made content that us as moving image archivists are now coping with, or figuring out how to deal with, and trying to put context behind and trying to rescue and all that. So, and then that really catchy song is quite something. So one of the reasons I'm doing this for AMIA is because I love AMIA and I love the people behind AMIA. And I got to say thank you, Tanya and Kim Tar, for buying us coffee. AV Geeks and other moving image archivists all run on coffee or tea. I found a couple that don't do caffeine at all, and they're very odd. But the lines at Starbucks, at the conference hotels, tell a story. And there's a lot of coffee to be consumed. And also at the conference buffets that are set up before the panels, I certainly am drinking some coffee. But yes, thank you for donating. That is one way that people contribute back to AV Geeks. But anyways, I wanted to make the case that all of you out there that are AMIA people who have an archive or an institution that has these materials, I really got to say that doing some sort of monthly, weekly, daily thing and putting it out in the world, talking about what you have in your collection and maybe even showing what you have in your collection is really great. It's great for two reasons. One, it promotes what you do and who you are and what your collection has. Two, it's a great way for your brain to wrap around access in a different way. And so I do these live things, but I attended and presented yesterday with other people who do pre-recorded things. So Tammy, Texas Archive, the Moving Image, the Seattle-based archive, which its anagram, I can't, or acronym, I can't remember. And then also the Southeast Chicago Home Movie Project. All of them are taking their materials and putting them online. Tammy's actually putting stuff on TikTok, which is, for me, I don't know if I want to do TikTok, but there's a lot to be gained by showing stuff, both to giving the public access and seeing what you do and what you have, and also for you to kind of dust off things and kind of show stuff. Now, you don't need a telecine to do this. I have thousands of films that I've digitized over the last several years, and so the next one I'm going to show you is the bane of film archivists' existence, and that is splicing motion picture film. And this is a film that I already digitized, and so I'm just showing a file. So here we go. Enjoy.
Film damage can result from poorly repaired film, from faulty equipment, and from careless handling. This is the result. Often the best method for repairing the film is to cut out the damaged section and splice the film back together. There are many kinds of splices. All of them will hold the film together, temporarily at least, but few of them are designed to allow the film to be projected again. In this film, we will show you how to make a splice, such as this one, which will allow the film to be projected again. First of all, it will help you to know the principle behind the splicing technique. Motion picture film is composed of three general parts: the emulsion, which contains the photographic image, the acetate base, which supports the emulsion, and a binder, which holds these two parts together. In the splicing process, the emulsion and the binder are removed first, and cement is applied to this scraped area. The two pieces of film to be spliced are then overlapped at this point, forming a strong, permanent splice. The equipment needed for splicing includes a splicer, a scraper, a piece of felt, a small amount of water, a brush, a clean cloth, and some fresh film cement. The film must be spliced with the emulsion side of the film facing upwards. The emulsion side can be determined either by inspection or by feeling the film. Close inspection will show that the emulsion side has a dull luster, while the base is much more glossy. Feeling the film, you will find that the base side feels smoother or more slick than does the emulsion side. To splice, position one piece of film, emulsion side up, on the pins of the right side of the splicer. If the perforations are on one side only, notice on which side of the film they appear. Close the top part of the splicer to hold the film down. At least 1/4 inch of film should protrude. Next, cut the film off by bringing the bottom part of the left side of the splicer down into position. Raise the entire right assembly. On the left side of the splicer, position the other piece of film, emulsion side up, and bring the top section down into place. Here too, some film should extend from the splicer. The perforations should be on the same side as those on the other piece of film. Bring the right side of the splicer down until it cuts the end of the film squarely, then return it to its former position. To soften the emulsion, moisten the film on the left side with a wet piece of felt. Some splicers do not require this moistening. Next, using either a metal scraper or an emery board, carefully scrape the emulsion off of the moistened film. Brush the loose pieces of emulsion from the scraped area. Apply the cement to the film, being careful not to use too much, and immediately bring the right side down into a locked position, overlapping the two pieces of film. After 10 to 15 seconds, the cement should dry. Release the top sections of the splicer and wipe off the excess cement. The result is a strong, accurately made film splice. Let's make one more splice to make sure you have the process well in mind. Film in the right side, emulsion up. Cut the film. Film in the left side, emulsion up. And again, cut the film. Moisten. Scrape. Brush. Apply the cement and overlap the film. The useful life of a motion picture can often be greatly extended by correct splicing repair.
Thank you, State University of Iowa, for that film. It's really kind of glorious, especially that beginning shot of the projectionist and the film falling off the reel, and this kind of like this insanity. Most of us who have been projectionists have experienced that at least once. Something happens, something horrible happens, and there is film hitting the floor. Usually a bent reel or a splice that does some crazy thing. That's the wonders of of film and video is the unintended chaos that happens when you're handling these materials, and you're like, why is it doing that? And that's what's great about AMIA, is that sometimes, especially if you're digitizing film or video and you're using these tools, and you're like, where is that coming from? How did that happen? You have peers that you can ask. You can say, like, what is going on? And there's this amazing resource. It's the AV Artifact Atlas, which if you Google it, it's pretty amazing. It's a lot of people that have contributed video glitches, and they've come up with a vocabulary. And if you want to geek out, and I am an AV geek, and I will certainly geek out, that's a wonderful place to look and to see, and there's all this talk about what caused it, like what was happening to the tape. Was it recorded? Is it something that's happening now because something has broken down? It's really a wonderful place to kind of spend some time and look at. There's lots of samples and examples, and they're actively taking new submissions if you find something that's not right. So it's almost like this weird zoo of AV artifacts. Right now it's just video, but I'm hoping at some point film will show up too, because there's all sorts of weird scratches and things like that. I got to say thank you guys. The AMIA people have been very gracious in their coffee contributions. There's no way I'm going to be able to drink all the coffee that you have contributed, as I would probably have a cardiac arrest. But we will ration it out over a period of time, and I will share it with my assistant, Kayshawn Finch, who is also an avid AMIA person who cannot be with us because of COVID, because we're kind of distancing. So he's at my archive, former house archive, and he's scanning and digitizing film and video. And I'm here in my basement, because that's what we do during COVID, is do what we do from our basements and from our extra spare bedrooms or our kitchens or our couches. The fact that we're not in the archives makes us sad, but we are still archivists nonetheless. So there you go. So anyways, I wanted to say thank you to Ivy, Sean, Jim, and Dennis for all the caffeine that will be coursing through my veins over the next couple of weeks. All right, so I can go either way with this. I have a couple of different options. I want to definitely not... oh yeah, we'll go with this. All right, so one of the things that a lot of archives are dealing with now are television collections or amateur video or educational video, things that were shot not necessarily in a TV studio, but were shot in a school classroom setting or out in the field or whatever. And so there's all this this material that's coming up, and it's appearing in archives that we're trying to reconcile. So this film was made for people that were going to be taking a television production class or a video production class, and it features a good friend of ours. So here's basic television terms.
Panning, 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 tilting down, zoom in to the title card. Basic television terms, a video dictionary. Got it. Okay. Hello, I'm Leonard Nimoy. If you know me, it's probably from the acting I do in front of television cameras, but this time I'm going to be behind the camera, and you're coming with me to see how television is produced.
Comment number 11. 3, get me Lynn, please. Keep 2 over 1 preset. Doing it differently. Andrew, text to 2. Lynn's camera will be 3. Ready effects, ready to cue to 2. Black, effects mask, cue, switch. Coming to 2
Eyewitness
over 3
News
with
with
the mask
Stan Borman
and
and Lynn Joyner.
Here we
Joel
go. Ready
Bartlett
effects,
with
ready to
weather
cue to
and
2.
Wayne Walker with sports.
And effects cue mask.
Let's say there are 2 kinds of television production: big budget television and little budget television. Big budget television is the kind used for most broadcast television, with big studios, big cameras, and big crews. Little budget television is little cameras, limited facilities, and small groups of people working together. Little budget television is the kind of production used for education, industry, law enforcement, sales work, just about any field you can name. A lot of people are already working with television, so let's start by seeing who does what. In big budget television, there are large crews, starting with the producer. That's the person who supervises production, bringing people together and making it all happen. And you have writers and production assistants. Then there's the director, who directs the camera people and chooses what to show on the screen. Sitting next to the director, you usually find a technical director, who actually pushes the buttons and supervises the technical work. Out on the studio floor is the floor director, who stands beside the camera and relays the director's instructions to the people in front of the camera.
We may come out. Here we go to 1.
And then there are the engineers.
Maybe knock the coma down a hair. Yeah.
They set the lights. They run the cameras.
Okay.
They supervise the video or picture and the audio or sound. They run the videotape recorders, and later they work with the producer's staff to edit the videotape.
Keep it way under. Still playing. Still playing. Sneak it in again.
Little budget television has little crews. The equipment is designed so that almost anybody can operate it, and so that production can be done by as few people as possible, maybe even one. But no matter which way you're producing your television, little or big, the steps you follow are the same, beginning with pre-production. You may start with a treatment, a short outline of your idea, describing it as you might see it on your television screen. Or you can start right with a script, which usually has picture directions on one side of the page and sound directions on the other. This is a storyboard, another kind of script. It has picture and sound directions, and above them, drawings which indicate the shots to be used. A tilt shot, when the camera tilts up or down. This is a dolly shot, when the camera dollies in towards the subject or dollies back, away from the subject. And this is a tracking shot, when the camera tracks or moves with the subject. Shots can also be identified by function. An establishing shot, for example, is a shot which establishes the location or mood of a scene. An insert shot is a shot made for inserting into previously taped material. Usually it's a close-up or a cutaway to graphics. And finally, shots may be described by what they show.
Here's one of the most often used shots in television. It's called a talking head shot, and it's a shot of a head talking.
Okay, so if you've got your shots ready, your program or tape planned, it's time to move to production. Control room.
Looks like a pretty nice week. That's the weather. Have a nice evening. Andrew?
I think I can live with that, Joe. Thank you very much. I do wish I knew the outcome of those 3 games coming up, Wayne.
If the cameras are outside a studio, on location, there may be a portable control room, called a remote truck or a video van. The director and technical director will have a video switcher to cut from camera to camera. Single camera system production involves taping much as a movie is filmed, setting up one shot at a time with planning for later editing together of shots. Single camera systems often use portable videotaping rigs.
Roll tape. Do it.
The big budget rigs are called minicams, and the small budget rigs are called portapacks. Both are designed so that the camera can be handheld. Some systems are so light that a single person can carry both the camera and the videotape recorder. And a microphone can be built into the camera so that production can become a one-person operation. Another special system is the character generator. The character generator electronically generates numbers and letters. Of course, no matter where it comes from, all picture and sound ends up on videotape. Videotape records it and can play it back immediately after recording.
Hi, I'm Peter Marshall, one of the hot ones here on Channel 5 this season with a big variety show.
Videotape comes in different sizes. The bigger the budget, the wider the tape, with 2-inch being the widest. And videotape comes in different containers, including open reel and video cassette. Videotape is recorded and played back on videotape recorders, or VTRs, which come in big budget sizes and your convenient small budget sizes.
Now, once you've planned, directed, shot, and recorded your tape, you're ready for post-production, which is the time when programs and tapes are edited. There are three kinds of video editing: real-time, usually called a fade to black or a fade out. If a shot begins as a blank screen and slowly appears, it's called a fade in. If the first shot is faded out and the second shot is faded in at the same time, it's called a dissolve. If two shots are kept on the screen at the same time, it's called a superimposition. If an image or bit of graphics is superimposed, it is said to be supered or keyed. And this is a special kind of superimposition called chroma keying. In chroma keying, two shots are combined without overlapping in the frame. The special effects generator also produces trick transitions, such as a cross wipe, a curtain wipe, an iris in, and an iris out. And here's a special effect you can do without a special effects generator. Just point your camera into the monitor that shows what the camera sees, and you get video feedback. After editing, you may want to copy a television image on movie film, so you use a special movie camera, like this one, to make a kinescope, or kine, filming it right off a television screen. Of course, it's easier to copy television with television. When you copy a videotape on another videotape, it's called duping or dubbing. An original videotape is called a master videotape. A copy or dub of a master is called a second-generation videotape. A dub of a second-generation videotape is called a third-generation videotape, and so on. The videotape on which a program is finally assembled is called an edited master. Now, if you have your program almost finished, and you still have some money left in the budget, you usually add credits, descriptions of who did what on the production. With a little budget, you can tape them off a card. Or with a big budget, you tape them off a crawl, like this. And that, as we say in television, both big budget and small, is a wrap. I'm Leonard Nimoy. See you on the tube.
Oh, Leonard. So I want to quickly show this film, but before I do, thank you, Lindsay, Katie, and Ash for coffee. Lindsay, our time in Albania together, you realize how important coffee is for me to survive. Anyways, I just wanted to show this film real quick before the keynote with Erica Teichenmeyer starts. So here's a metaphor for what many of us encounter when we encounter a giant collection of audiovisual materials and how it will ultimately devour us.
Dear Mr. Ames, your resume indicates that you may be just the person to assume the managerial duties at KLRN-TV and free me to continue my work in sensitized videotapes. Don't be put off by our present limited facilities. The success of my experiments will soon permit KLRN to capture a much larger share of the viewing public. Sincerely, W.H. O'Brien.
Get me the police. Yeah, I'm in trouble. There's this big...
So real quick, before Erica Teichenmeyer starts her keynote with AMIA, thank you, Reto, for the coffee. He also knows how much coffee is important for me. That film is held at University of Southern California, which means that AMIA, amazing archivist punk rock guy Dino Everett has control over it. He has it in his collection, and he, I'm sure, will eagerly show it and share it. He is an amazing example of a AMIA person who's unafraid to show a 100-year-old film to an audience of people. He is truly amazing in his gonzo approach to sharing, and film needs to be shown is what he feels. Anyways, thanks everybody for tuning in. My regular lunchtime crowd, thank you. I'll be back at 1 o'clock. AMIA people, I'll be in the at AMIA. So find me if you like what you saw or you want to talk more about how we do the screening if you are interested. Everybody, take care. We will see you soon.